Hey everybody, what's up? Tilted Talk is back. Sorry we missed you guys last week, but we had a lot of different stuff going on, E3 and all that jazz. So we are back this week though. Unfortunately, we were supposed to have a guest for you guys tonight, but the construction company that was working on something next to his place cut the internet line to his entire building.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh no.
So he's been on the phone with them half the day. He's like spent like $30 in debt. Yeah, it's brutal. I feel bad for the guy.
Now I feel terrible.
Yeah, it's rough. It's rough. But
situation.
despite the last minute technical hiccup there, we will figure out a way to make this show as entertaining as possible for you guys, as always.
Don't we?
Yeah, we do. We figure it out. We fly our own way.
Maybe he'll get the internet fixed before the end of the show, and like a caboose in its natural habitat comes in right at the end. You know what I mean? So maybe that could happen. Who knows? So if he sticks true to his name.
Yeah, we'll see if that happens. But we still have a bunch of stuff to talk about with you guys this week. Obviously, there was patch notes 9.3. They just dropped yesterday. We also have some payment processing information for those of you who are lucky enough and skilled enough. I think it takes a little bit of both, right? Skill is obviously more weighted.
This information does not pertain to me.
This information does not pertain to most of us, but it is kind of cool to see that Epic's taking care of some of the stuff and some of the problems that have been addressed by some of these competitors. So we'll quickly cover that. We won't spend too long on it. And then, as always, we'll hop into the World Cup news. Of course, we will also hop into a discussion on a couple of actually really interesting discussions that have been going on Reddit in the past couple of days that I thought were really good. We might be able to get some good takes on that. And then, as always, clips of the week. And if you guys have questions, drop them for us in the chat right now or tweet them at us, either or, and we will answer them for you live here at the end of the show. So first things first, skipping the interview portion, let's hop right in to the World Cup. Do you want to do World Cup or patch first?
Let's do the patch notes first, because these are the best patch notes that we have seen in months, by far.
Okay.
I think that's straight up. These are finally, a lot of people are saying that these patch notes, people are, Epic's finally listening. It's not like they haven't been listening. Things just take time. So obviously they have a certain roadmap set out, and they've actually, I think you can probably run down the most of it, but a lot of people wanted to see that Boombo gone. It's finally gone, especially a week after they took it out of Team Rumble. And they're like, it's too OP for Team Rumble because everyone spawns with 100 HP. And everyone's like, everyone spawns with 100 HP in every game mode anyway. So I don't think they originally were planning to like take it out of Team Rumble and then the main game. I think after that blowback, they were probably like, maybe they're right. That's just what maybe we should remove it from the whole game instead. Otherwise, you might as well add Siphon back.
Yeah, I mean, which would be nice.
Yes.
Soon, TM, hopefully. Apparently, it's never coming back. Anyway, okay, so let's get into the patch notes. Obviously, the biggest thing, the highlight of the patch is this new Chug Splash item.
I love this item.
I think this is ridiculous, personally.
I found it already while playing, and super effective. You get 20 HP from each throw, and you can throw it at your teammates, you can throw it at yourselves, throw it at your down teammates if they're about to bleed out. I mean, there's so much versatility to this now. I'm happy that they finally added some sort of ranged healing mechanism, because let's be real, a lot of our teammates that we have to get stuck squatting with, it's hard enough for them to shoot. Now you're asking them for inventory management on top of that and healing themselves. Come on, man. Like sometimes you need to just do it all, and this gives you that opportunity, that tool to do so. So I'm super stoked to see this, especially in competitive play.
Yeah, I mean, definitely in competitive play, I think it's going to be pretty cool. But, for me, I actually kind of had the opposite thought on the fact that now that potato on your team, you can be like, all right, dude, here's the deal. You're carrying like 18 of these. You have a shotgun and a regular, like an assault rifle or something to like protect yourself a little bit. You're sitting in the back and just healing us. Like, that's all you have to do. Okay, that's your only job, is to give me sustain. So now, just like every other game, you can have that scrub on your team play healer.
That's actually a really good idea. They have the LTM, which is trios this weekend. So if you're doing like normal squads, you could have a 3-man squad of just firepower, and then one player that mains healer on your team. So I mean, this opens up a lot of avenues for that, because instead of I think it's, you pick up 2 stacks each, you can max 6. So I mean, if you wanted to hold, 2 inventory slots, like personally, my personal inventory when I play, I'm keeping heals in 2 slots. I sometimes 3. Like usually, I'll have gliders, then 2 slots I'll have shields, and then maybe I'll carry an AR and then a shotgun. But if you're holding that many of the chug splash and you're throwing them, yeah, you can keep your team alive a lot longer than you think in these battles. And the best part is it's got that area of effect, so you can throw it at a group of your teammates, especially if they're within the same structure, and it'll be able to be effective as long as your aim's okay. So it'll be terrible to see people missing the throw and then accidentally healing the other team and then they wipe everybody out. So let's hope that everybody can at least get their aim down on it. But I mean, I think it's really fun. I love the mechanic so far.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty cool, but the way that they balance it, it actually has to be used on multiple people, because otherwise, like, a mini shield gives you 25, right? Like the only thing that's more effective then is a band-aid, which only gives you 15.
Yeah.
So other than band-aids, this is the second weakest healing item in the game. Obviously, it's versatile. It can give you shields or health, kind of like a slurp juice and a chug jug and how those things work. But if you just start throwing them on yourself, like, always drop them for mini shields. 100% of the time, drop them for minis. Because like 150 health is enough, and getting the 25 back. I mean, the fact that it's instant is pretty nice. You don't have any sort of delay, but you still have to swap to the item, throw it. Sure. So there's a teeny bit of a delay, but it's not as much as like a mini potion or a regular potion or anything like that. So there's pros and cons to it, but personally, the way I see it is I wouldn't keep them in solo. I would use them unless I had no other sorts of healing, and then I would keep them. But if I had anything else, I would probably swap, just drop them or just ignore them altogether.
I was actually getting, I had saw a clip where somebody was in a game with each other, fighting in solos. Somebody dropped on him while the other guy only had the chug splash, and then ended up throwing them, and then ended up healing his opponent while he was pushing him. So.
Dude, I gotta ask, is your roommate all right?
Yeah, no, he's losing his mind right now playing Madden.
Okay, yeah, Madden is pretty rage-inducing. I think we can forgive him. That and FIFA are probably the 2 most up there. But yeah, guys, that is the Chug Splash. There's a ton of other stuff to cover in this patch, so I want to like kind of get through all of it. As you quickly touched on, we have some items that are gone forever, or at least vaulted, which is essentially gone forever, at least from the majority of the game. And for the majority of things. First off, the boom bow, the one that you touched on.
Yep.
Can't say I'm upset about this, honestly. Can't say I'm upset about this at all. It was pretty bad. So the fact that it's gone now, like the fact that you could just use it to blow things up was so frustrating. And honestly, if you didn't have, because of Siphon being gone, which was really annoying, like if you got into a fight and you just saw 2 other people fighting, you're like, I'm going to wait. Okay, they've done some damage to each other, and arrows, and all of a sudden everyone's dead. The fact that you didn't have to actually hit those shots, you just kind of had to get it into their 1x1 or whatever. I was not a big fan of this item. It was cool, it was fun, it was like, interesting to use, but overall, glad it's gone.
Yeah.
The other 2, I think
it was way too OP for every game mode. That's what I was mentioning earlier. Like finding that off the drop, you were killing people right away.
Oh yeah.
And that was the best. That was the best way to try and get multi kills in the early going. That was the most OP weapon you could find other than rocket launcher. And you're finding this on the floor in chests. It's no chance.
Yeah. Apart from that, we also had the dual pistols gone, which is, I was kind of surprised with this one because it was like these aren't that strong, but I think it was just the fact that they aren't that good. Like you don't see many people running these. It's kind of like an obsolete item that you might pick up every once in a while, or if you're a streamer or for a content creator, maybe you use them to try and get some clips with. But I can't think of any time where I've seen someone seriously, like legitimately rocking the dual pistol.
I used them the day before they got patched. The day before, man, and the day before that, I used them. I was just thinking, I was like, these fit. These are nice. I like these with the John Wick skin. They feel like they fit, and then they get vaulted.
So of course you were doing it because of a skin.
Maybe.
Not real.
Yeah.
Not real.
It was the most John Wicking weapon that exists, except the one that they actually added, which is that AR, that scoped AR, which is actually from the.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Apart from that, I mean, I'll just give.
Wait, you know what? I'm crazy. So sorry, totally sidebar. I don't think at any point in the movie he was using double pistols. He's way more trained and controlled than that.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's not
just
completely
like in
accurate.
your thought. It's just like in your mentality.
Right.
Like John Wick should
That's
have
more
dual
like
pistols.
Arnold Schwarzenegger type thing, like really hokey.
Yeah, or like Master Chief style. You know what I mean with the dual wields. Like,
not many people can pull it off, so that's why they had to vault it. Nobody used them in the competitive pool enough, so they were like, you know what? I guess these are gonna have to extend for a while. Also, they're gonna be bringing in, if you were going to mention coming up here, one of the things that they were hinting on might be another pistol coming, a new revolver now heading into the game. So they got to kind of even out the loot pool a little bit.
Yeah. So I think they're just, it makes sense. Like I said, I didn't see too many people using them. I don't think they were like a fan. Like you didn't really hear any outcry like, oh my God, the dual pistols. Like that didn't happen. Nobody, sad to say, but nobody cares about you dual pistols. You're just relegated to obscenity.
Yeah, those things, I mean, like I said, I loved them. Well,
obsoleteness. Obscurity. That's the word.
Exactly.
Obscenity is a different word.
No, man. When somebody good got their hands on it, maybe it was a little obscene, but I mean, that maybe they looked at the numbers and they were probably dropped more often than not. But I mean, I never prioritized them. Exactly. Yeah, never prioritized them.
And last but not least, dynamite. Everyone's least favorite grenade. I kind of agree with everyone saying that this patch was good because they did get rid of some stuff that just nobody cared about or like who uses dynamite? The only time I used dynamite was to blow up buildings and tilted towers for fun.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, we killed everybody in Tilted. Let's just blow up buildings now. I have all this dynamite. Let me just chuck it randomly. Like, I don't think I ever threw dynamite seriously once in my entire life. Like, it was just
It's always to clear out buildings. I throw it in the bottom floor and in windows. But I'll be in that mode. I don't know if you ever have that happen where you'll find dynamite, maybe impulse grenades, and you find them in stacks of 3. So you're like, I don't want to keep these on me. I'm gonna take something else and keep going. Maybe a med kit, and then you go just a little bit like the next chest you open ends up having the exact same thing. So you're like, oh, I kind of wish I had 6 now. Why didn't I bring them with me? So. They've been viable when I stack them, but I never carry them except for, like you said in your case, to blow up buildings in Tilted. And now they made the buildings like twice as wide in Tilted. So
why did they do that,
dude? It's so much more dense. You can't be a demolition man anymore.
Which sucks. That was one of the funnest things about being in Tilted, of killing everybody and then wiping out Tilted towers and then leaving, so that anybody else who came was like, "What happened here?"
I found 6 dynamite on the ground level of Trump in the old Tilted before, and it was the best. It was the best. Except like when you throw them and then one wall. It's literally one wall. You have to run up and pickaxe it. Yeah,
that's okay.
It was the one the farthest away from you.
Yeah, I mean usually, but whatever. But yeah, guys, that is all the stuff that hit the vault. But there was a ton of other little swaps. I actually really like the first change that they made, where they actually removed the shotgun swap delay unless you're using dual shotguns, because that mechanic was put into the game specifically for the double pump. But then they had it. They just, for some reason, they coded it to work anytime you switch to a shotgun. So it's like, oh look, I can't even SMG shotgun, or some guy just surprised me and walked around a corner. I have to wait 2 seconds before using my shotgun that I didn't have out. That was a huge quality of life change. Glad they did that.
Yep.
Pretty big buff, especially with all the pumps gone and stuff like that. Now it just makes sense.
The demonstration videos where people are building and shooting, it's so much more fluid. They don't have to go through all these. It's only now if you're having 2 shotguns, I think so. But there's no meta now in place where that's needed. So it's mind blowing how this wasn't something in the game earlier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Also speaking on shotguns, they reduced the combat shotgun's long range effectiveness. Thank God. I mean, one of the clips this week actually is going to be of somebody killing somebody with a shotgun down an entire mountain.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding you. A man is on a mountain and a man is on the floor, and man on the floor dies to shotgun on the what world does a shotgun shoot down a mountain? That is not how shotguns work.
Every time I have them, I don't build up to people. I stand on the ground and I try to snipe from the ground. And it works. It dings people, and then they don't want to try and pop out and shoot you. Because when people don't realize, when they build wood, you can see them through the wood. When you build metal, it's different, or brick. But yeah, those things
take longer to render, though, right? So I mean, you can see them for more time. Exactly. The wood kind of blocks you off faster. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you can use that thing from super long range. That's why everyone seeks them out.
Yeah. We're going to get to a discussion on them a little bit later, too, because their drop rate is ridiculously low considering how important shotguns are in the game. And now everybody's just running with tax. I don't know. We'll get to it later. But little sneak preview of what's to come in a little bit here, guys. Let's see. You can't ride proximity grenade launcher projectiles again. Thank God. Also, can we just talk about the proximity launcher for a second? Because that happened last week, and we didn't we didn't have a show last week.
Yeah.
Why? Why?
I'm actually not sure that I mean, I'd have to talk to you. Oh, I thought you were asking why we didn't have a show. I was gonna say all you. That was all you.
Yeah, that was on me. I was at E3. I was having fun. Why? Just like, why is that a thing? Please, can you enlighten me? Because I don't know. I don't understand.
So apparently, like, even sniper bullets are solid enough projectiles where, like, I've seen somebody apparently got sniped at and their feet hit the bullet, so it made them drop their glider, like because the game registered them on flat ground. And it's the same thing as now you wonder, why can you launch yourself with rockets, projectiles? They don't take the rocket routing out. They took this one out specifically.
Yeah.
And the grenade launcher, all that. I don't know. I think they stated because you go way too fast with the proximity grenade launcher, so it kind of breaks the game in a way, or like kind of screws it up in a sense.
That whole gun breaks the game.
No, like, that whole thing is.
You're telling me you just shoot rockets that explode in massive AOE? Like, please, if somebody has a good explanation for this in chat or in the comments on YouTube later, like someone fucking explain. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have sworn, but somebody explain this to me.
This is how
someone explain this to me. Why? Just why is this a thing? Epic, I love you guys, but you're getting a head shake here. Getting a fat head shake.
As far as being a low ground warrior, which is like I like to do, using that shotgun works well enough. But now I have something that I don't even have to hit them. They take the boom bow out, but they replace something else that you now don't even have to have a place of impact or a point of impact with the gun. It just explodes once it's within the area. You can ricochet it off walls and bounce it. Oh man. And I'll tell you what, once I saw that gun, here's why when you asked, I didn't snap right away. Because I saw that and I just laughed to myself, because now you have to steer into everything they're doing now. It's like everyone's like, "Oh, are you guys crazy?" Blah, blah. Yes. Isn't that apparent that they're now just trying to do whatever crazy idea that they can to see how it changes things and rebalances the meta? For this, I saw this and I was like, you know what? Now, instead of being that guy that's like, I hate this gun, never pick on this gun up, this gun's so annoying, abuse the hell out of it. Seriously. Just because and I say that because it's there for a reason. Now, yeah, if it needs to be patched or fixed in certain ways, that will happen. But as far as it being in the game now, it's there. There has never been a gun. All right, I'm already lying to myself. The sword. I was going to say, there's never been a gun introduced that they bolted a week later. They've always stuck to their guns. The sword was, I guess, the exception. But this is not the sword. So other than that, that's why you got to just say, all right, how can I use this in my game? You know what I mean? Or with my playstyle, because it's going to have to come into play at some point. I mean, maybe, because for me, I've played I played a few days this week and 10, 20 games maybe, and I've only seen it like twice. So it's definitely not one of those guns where they put in the game and then you're finding it all over the place. I haven't even been getting killed from it. So, it's definitely something that's been pretty scarce. So I think that maybe they have it at like a very perfect spot that it needs to be. I also could be wrong. Maybe you can only get it out of like supply drops. Probably not, because it's new. I'm assuming they have it on chests, but probably not floor loot. I really don't know. Actually, you know what? Probably is, because if it's an epic and legendary, you probably get. I think that you're probably going to have it. I think for its new weapon floor loot, and then you can find it in chests as well. I mean, and vending machines, but. I mean, I don't know. I have not seen them, so that's why I'm trying to figure out where can I find one, because I want to use it more.
Yeah, it's fair. I mean, I don't know.
I know. Trust me, I know. But man,
I get it. If you're playing, use it. But for me, it's like I watch more Fortnite than I play these days, and it's just very much like I don't.
True.
We're gonna have to watch this weekend, and it's gonna hurt my brain. Anyway. Yeah. Moving on. So, yeah, I don't want to get all worked up again. What are some of the other? Just saying, we have the best production team on planet Earth. Don't even at me.
Only 200 V-Bucks.
Only 200.
That's great. The deep. What is that? The deep dab? The super deep dab? Jesus.
Deep
dab. Now, how many? So is there 3 or 4 different kinds of dab emotes? Are you serious?
Yeah. I mean, and this is why whenever you turn on a sports game, like if you watch any sort of sport, if the camera goes onto somebody under the age of 15, 99.8%
they're just throwing rockets out there.
Just throwing rockets. It's ridiculous. I mean,
oh jeez,
the dab is too much. Anyway, we digress.
Yes.
What else has the shotgun swap removal? Yeah, we touched on this earlier a little bit, Rainey, but essentially, I think it's a good thing because it was only supposed to affect the double shotgun meta, which was so prevalent when they put it in. That's why they put it in, to remove that. Since then, they've gotten rid of pumps. Everybody runs tax now because you can't find a combat shotgun. And if you can, that thing is OP anyway. And it's nice to have that ability to swap from an assault rifle to a shotgun or an SMG to a shotgun or whatever gun you've got out, and somebody comes around a corner and somewhere like tilted and somebody surprises you to an extent. Mm-hmm. You can just pull out that shotgun and you're not useless for 2 seconds. I mean, if you're running in close quarters, you should have your shotgun out anyway. But still, this is like a nice little quality of life improvement, I think, overall. Yeah,
that's true. No, it's by far it's something it's been needed for a long time. I mean, they should have introduced this the day that they should have never been introduced. All right, they should have never had this delay. But I can see why, because they don't want people. Imagine if you had 2 of those pump shotguns right now, and you could shoot them almost like instantly, like right after it'd be a done deal. So, I mean, that's if you could find 2 of them. Those things are so hard to come by as it is, I feel like.
Yeah, it's true. The other thing that I want to touch on from this patch notes, because there's some bug fixes and some tiny things. Apparently, campfires could actually block explosion damage at specific angles, which is just okay. So
makes sense,
I guess
because
I don't
think you can walk over them now. Like now they're like solid.
Okay.
I don't know what you want to call them. Like if you jump on it, you'll like fall off the side. You know what I mean? So it's like it's shaped. It has that like proximity or kind of that shape of like a cone. So and people use that tactic when they put down roof or pyramids. A pyramid piece, they shoot the RPG right over it. So there's that weird invisible wall that technically the game won't register as the characters in the splash damage of the rocket. It's so weird. People do that to get into boxes. So I mean, it makes sense that this kind of works a similar way.
Apparently, that's no longer going to be the case, so that they say they fixed it. We will see. But the feature that I like the most is they changed the hold to swap feature. So it now defaults as off. You can just tap a button, and for PC players, when you click the button down, that's when the swap will happen, not when you release the key. So it should help some of those frustrating times when you went to pick up a weapon and it didn't pick up and you kind of have to run back. And I mean, everyone who's played Fortnite knows about that, knows how frustrating that can be. So really, really nice quality of life improvement. But I think that was most of the major stuff from the. Is there anything else from these patch notes that you wanted to talk about? Caught your eye real fast.
No, I think we pretty much hit everything. I mean, I always scroll very slowly when I read the patch notes. So like where it says gets to the vaulted section, it's like boom boom. I'm like, oh my god, it's like it's dynamite. Oh my god, like just try to surprise myself. And I think this whole thing wrapped up was a great patch on all, great quality, and I love also, I don't know if we've touched on this in any of the previous weeks, but I love the new explanation that they're starting to add now to the patch notes. They're kind of having more in-depth, like kind of showing you what their thought process was, like disclaimers for most of the bigger fixes and why they're doing certain things. So a lot of people all they wanted was that transparency, that communication. So I'm glad that they're stepping that up.
That definitely helps a lot, right? Like it's a little bit easier to accept a decision when you can understand their point of view. We did get asked to discuss the new prop hunt game mode. I will be honest, I have not played it. Have you played it?
No, I have not played it either, because I saw a video of it, and that's why I haven't played it. I mean, it looks fun, I guess, but I mean, I'm trying. I don't know, man. I guarantee you it's a blast. I'm not going to lie. I just haven't played it yet. I was like, well, I'm not going to be like jumping right into that.
Yeah.
It's just me personally. I haven't done too much creative mode as it is. So, If that was like my normal day, like playing, then I'd probably be all about it. But my normal day is I do like maybe solo squads. Sometimes I try to like, I just hammer out the regular game mode. So I mean, this seems interesting. They're definitely trying different things. So got to give them credit on that.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe we'll play it on stream later this
week. We totally should.
Okay, I think that does it for the patch then. So the next little order of business that I guess we might as well just take care of before we get into the World Cup stuff is this competitive payment process update. So essentially, just a bunch of stuff. People were complaining that they weren't getting their payments. There was problems with processing the payments, all that sort of stuff. So essentially, Epic just released a document that contained all of the information you need to know in terms of how you're going to get paid, when you're going to get paid, how this is going to work, what information they need, and how long it's going to take, et cetera, et cetera. So essentially, if you're not one of the best players in the world, this means nothing to you. But if you are, then this is a nice little quality of life improvement where you can, again, more transparency. You'll know what's going on. And they did put a place for you to contact them specifically with this issue. So, they showed you a bunch of screenshots, like when actions are pending, all this sort of stuff to, keep you in the know of where things are at with you and how you can get paid. Good.
Yeah. Super stoked that they announced that and made that clear, just because
they're not paying me. So
that was the first I've seen of those pages, because I didn't click the link because it didn't affect me. But I was like, oh, I'm glad they're now announcing some transparency for that. But for me, I think like most people, when they heard some players like, hey, I haven't been paid from this event or that event, which were months and months ago, I think everybody hears that hasn't competed or just, watch, and they think like, why is that even a thing? Like, I would have thought they got paid months ago, right? Like,
do you even esports, bro?
Right. Exactly.
Like, the fact that they're even getting paid is already a win.
Trust me, I know what you. Right, I totally 100%. But I guess it was more of like, for a lot of people, all right, take me out of it, more of like the casual audience that doesn't work in esports. They see that and they think, oh, Epic's making so much money. Why haven't they paid their players? Immediately, there's going to be terrible backlash, right? We get it as esports works. A lot of it's contractual jobs. When you're playing, that's what that is. So it does take months, sometimes a couple months, sometimes net 60 to get your money. So the whole thing about that is that if you want to get, paid that way and whatever, that's fine as a player. Like, you might have to wait, but people hear that, get that backlash. Now they might have realized, oh, we should probably make it public, like how this is handled for anybody that might want to enter the tournament for the week 10 that's going to compete, that's going to qualify still. Like, people that don't know how it works, it should be information that we all know, like straight up.
Definitely. You don't need to worry about Epic not paying you guys though. Epic is not one of those shady esports companies. There have been lots of companies where it's like, I played in this tournament for X number of dollars. Will I ever see a cent of this? And sometimes the answer was legitimately nope. But Epic is not a company that I'm worried about for that. So I think we're in the clear there. This is just like a nice little quality of life thing that they did to make everything smoother and better and kind of give these players access to information that they should have. Moving on to the World Cup, the thing everyone cares about right now. Solos are done. So if you haven't qualified for solos, it's over. Your last shot was last week.
It's sad. I know.
I mean, kind of, but like, it's kind of cool. We've got all 100 people qualified now. We can actually take a look at this list, and you can see everybody that's qualified. There she is. Isn't that beautiful? Mm-hmm. Courtesy of Fortnite Esports, Gamepedia. Love those guys. The people who run that site are literally gods. We do not deserve these people. They spend hours doing this for free, data entry for free.
100%.
So first of all, are there any notable names? I mean, obviously, like, let's just cut right to the chase here. I don't see the Ninja on this list.
I don't either, sadly. Wait, hold on. Control F, Ninj. No, he's not there. I tried to do Control F, didn't work.
I knew he wasn't there. That's why I wouldn't just say this. I would not just say this.
I wanted to search him into existence.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's not how things work. It would be cool, but not today. So Ninja is not going to be competing there. Obviously, I think,
at least
for a lot of casual fans, I think that's probably a big surprise. Yeah, he has one last chance at duos because he hasn't qualified for duos either. So he's got one shot left. I mean, I know he's probably stressing out a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe he's kind of given up on it. I don't know. I haven't seen him in a long, long time, so I cannot tell you. Even though he was at E3 and I was at E3, I should have made that work, but I'm not cool enough. But yeah, so he's not there. One of the friends of the show, though, did manage to get himself in. That's Aspect. So he actually managed to qualify this very last week, right? Super happy for that guy. I mean, he worked hard. He's been trying to qualify every week. He's been feeling like things have been going the wrong way for him. He's had bad RNG or things have happened. Also from Europe, somebody qualified that a lot of people thought was going to qualify earlier. Mongrel.
Yep. Dude, he's such a savage. He's going to
do so good. Well. But he hadn't qualified yet. So he was able to clutch that up and qualify this past week, which I think is huge. Europe definitely wanted him there. He's one of their best players for sure. So the fact that he was able to get through this week, that's big, big news.
Yeah.
So now we've kind of got the list. We've got the list. Who do you think's going to win this thing, man?
I don't know, man. Mr. Savage, a lot of people think he's the prodigy. Mongrel is a tank himself from the UK, so a lot of eyes on him. You got a number of ghost players. You have Bizzle that a lot of people are looking at. That I think he might do wonders out there, especially Ghost Izza too. He's also really, really good as well. I mean, anybody on that Ghost team. That's why two of them made it. So that's pretty decent. You have with 100 Thieves also sponsored a couple players. So Cease got on there as well. I mean, there's a lot of big names that still made it, but also so many big names that did not.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that just goes to show you, right? When you're talking about 100 people, like we discussed this before, even before this started at all, like there are a lot of good players and some of whom do not have stream followings. Nobody really knows who they are. And these guys can play. I thought it was really interesting, actually, that North America East, the top three players this past week, Clicks, Clarity, Clarity qualified last time. And we were, talking about what his clips were. They managed to qualify. I mean, they managed to come in this top three spot, and they'd already qualified. So these guys are, in my opinion, some of the front runners for sure. You had a similar thing in NA West in Europe, but you are seeing less players. Like in Europe, actually, sorry, you didn't see that at all. All the European players who had qualified just seemed to sit this tournament out. Like the majority of them just didn't play. Maybe they're practicing for duos for next week. Maybe they thought that was more important than the little bit of money they can make because, again, like if you win, you're only making $5,000, right? So at this point, they've locked in their World Cup showing. They know they're going to be there. So at this point, they're not so worried about the $5,000. They're more worried about maybe getting the practice in for duos and double qualifying for the World Cup. So then that way they can make sure they can make double the money. Makes sense to me. Smart move. Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty cool. I wonder from NA West. Pika managed to qualify this week. He was the one player who had already qualified and managed to come in second again. So I think that's definitely another name to look out for. These guys who are able to come consistently at the top, because it's one thing to have a really good week, right? And kind of get in there. But when you're consistently coming in those top 2 or 3 spots, that to me tells me that your game is pretty consistent you're very good at adapting. Because obviously we've seen some tremendous changes since week 1. But the guys who are still able to, place well in week 1 and place well in week 9, that says a lot. So those are the players that I would really be keeping my eyes on. The guys who didn't just make it into that top spot once, but multiple times. And I mean, we got some clips here from the actual Fortnite World Cup for you guys. God bless Fortnite World. These highlight videos he makes are amazing.
Oh yeah.
He just sums up some of the best clips, some of the best moments. It's like, if you guys haven't checked that YouTube channel out, do yourself a favor. Go check that YouTube channel out. It is awesome.
Yeah, and I love a lot of how these players that show all this consistency, especially when they're trying to qualify for World Cup, getting multiple qualifications. And, a lot of these guys, pretty much every single one of these players, they have their own drop spot, maybe a backup drop spot, but usually a go-to drop spot. So these players that are consistently dropping in the same locations in these qualifiers and still able to do so well, that doesn't, really, it doesn't always have RNG, to thank. It's a lot of it is your skill and your awareness of the map, how you can study and, play a certain POI, because the way that, buildings are structured in different POIs, people play them differently and people have a style. Like look at Nick Merckx, the way that rest in peace, Nick Merckx location. I don't know if Tilted is still his place, but the old Tilted, I mean, he definitely would play those buildings unlike any other. Always try to lap around people, get right hand. I mean, there's so many different styles you can try to attempt with the layouts of these places. So I love people that are able to dominate their POIs and still just rack up W's on top of it.
Yeah, definitely. I guess that brings us into a little bit of talk about duos for next week, because this is the last week of qualifiers.
Yep.
So who's going to qualify on this duo side that hasn't qualified? I mean, I think the interesting thing, and that really shows that what you're talking about, is that we do have quite a few players who have qualified for both already. So like Benji Fishy and Mr. Savage, Mongrel has qualified for both. Right. So like you see these guys that are clearly stars. Like these guys are clearly ridiculous at this game.
It's a lot of money.
It's they're laughing. They're laughing right now. Is there any duos you expect to see qualify next week that we haven't seen yet?
For most of like the star-studded duos that I have on top of my head, I don't, because I don't have my notes in front of me about anybody that's really remaining. I mean, so I'm not gonna, just for the sake of the argument and because most of the articles have been pushing him, I'm not gonna say Ninja and Reverse 2K, although that's probably, unless they are, I don't believe they have already qualified for duos. I don't think they've qualified at all. But as far as the duos go, I mean, it's definitely it's a toss up for anybody that's left now. I mean, we've already seen the names that are on that list and how many of them we don't recognize. So it's really it's so impossible now to try and make a call out at this one, just with 1 week remaining.
Yeah, definitely. So we got a couple good questions from Blinker. The first is, what do we think is going to happen with the like after the World Cup? Like, what is Epic going to do with their competitive scene? Do you want to take this first, or do you want me to go first?
Yeah, I was thinking about this for a while. I mean, I think they're going to announce the next step at the World Cup. I think that's probably the smartest idea. They're going to have all the, all the eyes watching. I don't think it's going to be something they announce at a later date. So whatever the next steps are, if they have a 2020 season, another World Cup, maybe they'll announce Fortnite too. Like, I don't know what's coming, but either way, they're gonna have some announcement, I think, at the Fortnite World Cup in New York, and that's gonna pretty much tell us, where the path is going to take us next. But I expect there to be even more events. I mean, I think they're going to double down for the competitive scene.
Yeah, me too. I think, honestly, because if you think about it, we haven't seen any independent events for Fortnite.
Nope.
Since this started. So if I'm Epic, I'm using this season to go, okay, what tournament organizers want to run Fortnite tournaments? Is it DreamHack? Is it ESL? Is it IEM? Like, what's like all these big,
they could have them
events. Also, PAX. I would be shocked if we don't hear that there's going to be Fortnite stuff going on at PAX. I would be. I don't know what I'll do, but I will. It will be funny.
What's the exact date for PAX this year?
I'm going, and I have no idea. Welcome to my life. If it's not happening in the next 3 days, no, it's in August. Okay. It's in August. Nice. So there's going to be, I mean, I'm assuming there'll be a bit of a break because all these guys have been playing so much that they'll probably, leave it for like a month or something.
Yeah, I didn't think it would go right into anything, but they'll definitely make an announcement of when to expect something.
Yeah, definitely. The other question is Kovacs good?
Kovacs is absolutely good, but I'm a controller player for Fortnite, so I don't think it really pertains to me, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I mean, Kovacs with the controller is like pretty ridiculous. I don't know. It's like kind of pointless. So I don't know. Maybe it's not. I haven't done it, but I think I'd just be better off just going into creative and shooting bots.
Yeah.
If I'm using a controller, if you're on keyboard and mouse, go for it. I think it actually does help.
Yeah, definitely. No, it looks like a good aim trainer, and there's a lot of The other thing is Osu. Like that's something that a lot of people like. You see it in other games. I don't know how much you see it in Fortnite, but for the love of God, play Osu. That game is amazing.
I've never played that.
Really? Oh, there you go. Fun tip.
Check it out.
Trooper teaches Trooper. And by the way, thanks for the host, Rainey. We appreciate that.
Much love, man.
So now we've kind of gone through the World Cup a little bit. We've answered some questions. It's time for the community discussions, the hot takes, coming at you with the fire.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So there is a thread, and basically the title. I mean, it's a long title, but I'm going to read, the first 6 words of it. Dear Epic, your original vision is dead. pretty controversial.
That's dude,
right?
that caught my eye right away. And I'm like,
Yes.
wow. So might want to get some popcorn for this one.
Yeah, definitely. So essentially, this player's argument is that, obviously Epic is going to keep changing things. Like we touched on this a little bit. Like they keep doing ridiculous things, but they've kind of started to go to the point where they want people to get that first win quickly. Like his argument seems to be like he was kind of vague with it. He didn't really add in too much detail, but there's another thread that was very similar that we can kind of link into in a second. But essentially, the argument was stop catering to the newest players. The reason Fortnite was so addicting was because people wanted that first win. Like you have to invest a couple hundred games to get that first win, unless you're some prodigy or something. But for most people, they had to play a lot to get one W on the board. And then once they did it, by that point, you're hooked. You've played so much that you're like, well, hey, I'm playing this game now, and apparently I can win. Let's keep playing. When you remove that and you put in items and make changes that are specifically catering to the newest players, now obviously the skill gap has gone up significantly, right? Like people are way better at this game now than they used to be. But I still don't think that changes the original point that for a lot of people, what's fun about a video game is finding, like, exploring it and getting better. If I played Fortnite and my first game when I was terrible was a win, I would have been like, well, this game is full of potatoes. I'm never playing it again. Like, this is a waste of time. So, like, I don't think anyone's going to win their first game, but even getting a win in a couple of games is pretty like, mind-blowing, right? So to kind of like add on to this, basically another thread was saying that the 50-50 meta is a joke and destroys the integrity of the game. And what this point was that if you win fights, you come out with no health. Even if you're playing really well, you're going to take some damage. So the worst, like, it basically makes it so that there's literally zero incentive for the most part to hop into early fights. Like, unless you know for a fact that guy has a good item that you want, it's pointless. And I mean, getting one shots with a pump gun is impossible almost. So that the point is that, unless you can snipe somebody from super far away, why would you get into a fight? If you're using attack shotgun, you still have to shoot that guy 3 times. He's probably going to shoot you once or twice. He's going to take some of your shield. He's going to burn your resources for that fight, right?
Exactly.
So what are your thoughts on this? Because honestly, I definitely see where they're coming from. I get it.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, going back to that original Reddit post. I mean, yeah, it's the guy makes points, but he also cannot. I don't know if he. I don't know. These types of Reddit posts always just are weird to me because I don't expect that the company to change their ways because of a single Reddit post, no matter how much traction it gets. I mean, I think it depends on what feedback they're getting. And for this kind of stuff, I mean, obviously they have a planned idea and everything. So they definitely have had things change in mind. And I know that they're changing the game because of the skill gap as well. I mean, the game has definitely gotten different, but I'm wondering if they haven't done this because of the backlash it'll get, but I feel like they're like a step away, or that what they really want to do is if they want a new building or overbuilding, I would expect the main game mode to get, no, I know. I'm just saying, like, a big cap on the amount of materials that you get, worse than Arena. That's what I thought that they were going to go, but they haven't done anything like that yet. But then what had happened earlier this week? Apparently people, I guess it was arbitrary, but I saw a screenshot somebody put on Reddit of people getting logged onto the game, and it was asking like, hey, what was scale of 1 to 10? How do you think building is in Fortnite? Do you like it or whatever? So I'm wondering if they're starting to walk that line.
That's what makes Fortnite unique. I mean, there's plenty of battle royales. Yes, basically, you build forts. That's the whole point. I mean, obviously, again, this comes back to, and this is where I think the original vision idea is actually kind of accurate. And this is something we've discussed before. But I think Epic actually thought people were going to build save mats and then build big bases at the end and fight from these big bases. Like, if you look at all the early trailers, that's what's going on, right? Like, look at this giant base we built, and now we're impenetrable. But people quickly realize that's not the way to go. Because if you build a giant base, it's too easy for somebody to mine in or get in through some part that you don't have guarded. And then all of a sudden, you've been infiltrated, and that's not good. Like, I even remember playing games where we would build this giant base on top of a mountain and be like, ha, we are unbeatable now. And we did win some of those games, but it was like the game has come so far from that I think at a certain point, Epic does have to accept the fact that what they thought this game was going to be versus what it actually is are different. And they, to a certain extent, like when you make a game for the people like they did, and the game is out and the people are playing it and they love it, I think at a certain point you kind of have to go, do you know what? This isn't what we thought it was going to be, but everybody loves it. So let's cater to that instead of to what our original vision is, because clearly that we were wrong. Like we built something fantastic almost by accident, but we need to start moving in this new direction.
It's very true, but also I feel like, I don't know, if you're looking at like whatever that original vision might be, where they thought everybody would be end game, big forts, try to pick each other off like from mountain to mountain. I can't really agree with that. That's what they, at least, I mean, maybe at one point thought, but that they're still thinking now is what they want, because there are back then I can understand, because there were no mobility tools, none. This is before shopping cart days, nothing, right? And that's what made, I thought, the game pretty unique. So then they've done everything short of adding a freaking car in the game. I mean, a full-blown car. They've added golf carts, they've added ATVs, they've added now hoverboards. They have the slipstreams added. There's rift to goes. I mean, the gliders now that you can pick up. There are the impulse grenades. I'll even count that. There are so many ways to move quickly. All right, let's nix the impulse. But there's so many other ways to move like really far distances really quickly that they like now in this game that you can't expect that they would think like everyone's just going to be hiding out. Like right now, the game is in a meta where, I mean, people are going to push people, especially if they feel like that they have better weapons, or if they've, say, sniped a guy, took him for 150 or something. Like, yeah, like I'm like, I don't know how you can't expect aggression now, because the skill gap is so high. You guys are pushing competitive qualifiers, so people are going to want to try their hardest in every game they play. They're trying to practice. I mean, I totally get it. So I can't imagine that anybody thinks they still want a reserved building game. Maybe they want the building cut down, but then at the same time, maybe they don't, because what happens at the end of every match? They show you, they do the fly through of the building, and you see it's like pouring, insane. It's like pouring like the aluminum, the liquid metal into like an ant farm, right? And it like all of the, you see all the tunnels, dude. It's thousands of pieces. It's so insane, and it's actually really, it's pretty mind blowing to look at. Yeah, after like the whole game's over. I think they celebrated. I think they might want to tone it down in certain aspects. They want to kind of keep it controlled in a way. But as far as like the game is looking now, yeah, they can try to take out even maybe a couple more explodes, the turret, and then I think take out some mobility as well. But other than that, the game I think would be in a pretty good state. And Siphon not 100% needed, because we did without it for a while. It was in there for a week or two, and it was great. But it's in Arena. I think that's good for now.
Yeah. I mean, I think this gets to a question that we've talked about a couple of times, and that somebody, Blinker, just asked us in chat. How does Epic manage this competitive casual balance, right? Because at a certain point, it's like, are you just catering to them? I mean, I think with new items, you cater to the casuals, like with new stuff, new cool stuff. But I think the core mechanics of the game have to be catered to a more competitive side, because even casuals, like no matter how casual you are, everybody likes getting better at something. Everybody likes seeing self-improvement. Like if you're one of those people who doesn't, again, hit me up, because I want to talk to you. I don't understand that at all. Yep. Everybody that I know is like, I like getting better at things. It's just a fun feeling. You feel accomplished. So when you remove, or when you make it more difficult for somebody to see that tangible progress and how good they are, it's not healthy for the game long term, I don't think. Like what keeps people coming back to something, because at a certain point, like I think Fortnite, maybe you disagree here, but I think Fortnite is reached its, saturation point to an extent. Like if you haven't heard about Fortnite now, even if you're not a gamer, you are living under a
I'm guaranteed
rock,
like my parents even have.
Yes, my parents are like 70, and they've been like, so what's this Fortnite thing? It's like, how did you what?
yeah. How did that get to your ears?
It's crazy. Right? It's nuts. So at this point, nobody who hasn't heard, like all gamers have heard of Fortnite. Everybody's tried it who's going to want to try it. The important thing is to keep your player base coming back, right? So you can do that one of two ways. New wacky modes, cool items, that sort of stuff. That's great. Keep doing that, Epic. But then the other thing is make it clear that there's a competitive element to it, that you can get better and you can improve your gameplay and all that sort of thing. Because otherwise, you're going to lose half of your population. Like half of the population really likes playing this game to be the best that they can. Maybe not half. Maybe it's like 30%. Yeah. But whatever the number is, it's still, when you're talking about the millions and millions of people who play Fortnite, even if it's 5%, that's a ridiculous number of people. Also, the hardcore people tend to be the most like invested in the game and they're invested in the scene. They're the ones telling their friends. They're the ones playing 10 hours a day, not 30 minutes a day. More likely to buy stuff, more likely to do these sorts of things. So you got to keep that player base happy. And I think that by giving them mechanics that they can clearly improve on, building obviously being one of them, that is how you kind of manage that balance.
I'm going to make a prediction right now and think that at the World Cup, they're going to announce, like I said, their next steps for the competitive game modes for Fortnite, but I think they're going to finally pull the trigger on a lot of stuff that they have been contemplating, talking about within the community, where I think you're going to start seeing now competitive squads, but you're going to see, you're going to see games that aren't Battle Royale that are going to be competitive. You're going to start seeing, and I believe that they release creative as a great idea in addition to the game, but also to get even better ideas and probably going to use it to tweak different aspects of Fortnite themselves, where if people are competing, maybe now they're going to have it where it's only a certain amount of squads or a certain map, a certain sized map, or, not 100 players. Maybe they're going to change up the actual style of Battle Royale and have competitive Fortnite, not competitive Battle Royale, because you could ask almost any esports player, and it is one of the more other than how you spell esports, it's one of the more polarizing arguments in esports. You're right. Facts. So point taken. So, but seriously, then let's just say this: the most polarizing, I think, thing in esports or topic is Battle Royale in esports. Just because it's at the point now where it's just impossible to ignore, especially with Fortnite. I mean,
every game is adding. It seems like every game is adding a Battle Royale, right? So you're 100% right about that. It
is
seems like
Doom gonna have one?
We need to get on the Battle Royale craze, and it's like, okay, guys, we don't need 17 million of these things. Like,
Yeah, and Sheepish Beginner in chat mentioned he thinks the Epic's decisions based on statistics they collect because the data doesn't lie, and I am completely agree because they do mostly everything, I'm pretty sure, based on just their statistics, because when a lot of people hammer back with negative feedback, they a lot of times will fire back with the numbers, and that's what it comes down to, like how weapons are picked up, what's dropped and taken out of inventory, things like that.
Right. I mean, we can't forget that there's a ton of players under the age of 10 or 11 who play Fortnite, right? Which is huge. But the other thing to keep in mind is that those people don't spend money because they don't have money.
And they don't usually take surveys and things like that. Like, they could care less. Right. Think about that. They still need their feedback in some way, or their, the nature of their play style. So that, those numbers help them in a lot of ways.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of ways. And I think this kind of blends nicely into our next discussion, because the next thread that I saw was actually, I mean, God bless Reddit. People do the craziest things. This guy did a spreadsheet of 200 chests. So he opened 200 chests and did the spreadsheet to calculate what you can get out of one, right? So the combat shotgun, and this is something I touched on earlier in the show, has a 1.5% drop rate, while a new useless weapon will have 20% drop rate.
Mm-hmm.
This makes it very frustrating, because if a gun is overpowered, that's one thing. But if a gun is overpowered and you get it by RNG, like, you can, maybe I find one and then I kill everybody, or maybe I don't find one for 5 games and I just get killed. That's super frustrating. Like, how come you can get so many SMGs and like useless things that nobody seems to like, but the guns that everybody wants to play with, it seems they almost nerf the appearance rate. And this is where it gets even more interesting, because it does seem like not all rarities are made equal.
Yeah, I think. So, like, go ahead, finish your point. Sorry.
So no worries. So essentially, there's a couple of different things going on here. Like, you have rarities not necessarily equating to drop rates. You have rarities being completely out of whack. Like, you have the gold turret versus the green trap.
Like, I can't tell you how many gold turrets I find.
Like, well, for one, you find them all over the place. So it's like, why am I finding legendaries all the time?
Maybe because no one
picks them up. What world? This is what the point is, essentially. It's like, in what world does a gold drop more often than, other blue items? That doesn't make any sense to me. And then in what world is a gold turret more valuable than the wall trap? Like, who uses turrets other than the troll? Nobody. Yeah. Nobody. Right. The traps are super valuable. Everybody uses them. Even casual players use them and abuse them. So how do they figure out these rarities? To me, it doesn't make any sense.
I think there's a big problem with drop rates in general for everything. they're kind of mucked up in a way in terms of you have. Well, I'm going to use this as an example. Today, I was playing a few hours before the show. I was playing a few games, and I dropped Pleasant Park, the house with the underground cellar. Like do you know that one where you can knock through the cellar doors, go underground into the basement of the house, right?
Yeah.
So I started going underground, expecting to see a gun or a chest. No gun, no chest. Okay, that's fine. But there was ammo. There was ammo on the floor with no gun. Two kinds of ammo, let me tell you. It was small ammo and shotgun ammo, right? Great. So then I run back up the cellar, go into the living room area, the ground floor. No gun, no ammo, nothing. I run up to the bedroom, nothing. I knock into the upstairs of the bedroom, no chest. I go into the garage. There's more light ammo or small ammo, but no gun. I searched the entire house. I found 3 pieces of ammo, no weapons, no grenades, nothing to rotate, literally nothing. Nothing. That not even bandages. I got so the only place I didn't check was the upper part of the garage where a chest normally spawns because I didn't hear a chest. Maybe a floor loot would be up there, but it's not the point. I checked every possible spot. There had to be at least 12 spots in that house where there could have been something to spawn, some 10 to 12, and I got 0. So there's a problem in general with loot. Like I had no chance. I got gunned down right after that. After I came out, like there's nothing to do. So how do you have people that are going to land in places now? And what happened to me? Like that happened. Like you can now have a house has nothing in it. Like I think the drops. I don't know if that was just the worst luck possible. Like don't play the lottery anytime soon type luck, or if that's just shining more light on what kind of an issue we have here.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that in all the battle royales, there does seem to be that similar issue. And I think it stems from the fact that they make loot completely random, like they randomize it across the entire map, right?
Right.
The problem is that when you go into a house or a building, like in Apex, it can be even more frustrating because some of the buildings are big and you won't find anything. And you're like, how is this possible? This is a gigantic space with an enormous amount of loot drops, and I can't find a single.
That happens to me in a lot of those buildings.
Like
in Tilted.
Single gun? Yeah, it does happen in Tilted a lot too. So it's like, I think what they need to do, and I'm not a
get rid of the ammo only drop spots. I think that'll fix a lot of the problems. Because what'll happen? I would have had 2 guns.
Yes,
like in that situation, and I wouldn't have a problem. I think that'll affect a lot of people because I'd be willing to bet there's a lot of people that tell you that they even remember a time recently where they dropped and the first thing they found was ammo and they got shot at.
Yeah, that is true. I also think that maybe what they need to do is, and again, I'm not a software engineer, I'm not a programmer, I don't know how possible this is or how much work this would be or how difficult this problem would be. But I think what they need to do is identify the zones in a game. So every house would be a specific zone, and in that zone, there should be at least one thing you can use to damage another player.
Mm-hmm.
At least one. Grenades.
That's guns, true, but then you'd have to look into the loot having to change in real time on the map. Is that what you're trying to refer to?
No. I'm saying like at the beginning of the game. Like, because it's completely randomized across the map at the beginning of the game.
Oh, right? You mean within a radius, you need to have some. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yes,
so if you have something in the house across the street, you need to have at least something else, maybe on the bottom, or something in the top floor. You need to have something maybe on the bottom floor.
It doesn't matter which floor. But if I land on a house, somewhere in that house, I should find some sort of firearm / grenade.
No, I entirely agree. I
would prefer it be just firearm because I don't think like grenades. If you only have grenades, you're kind of boned. But I think that would be a huge quality of life improvement. It would remove that frustration factor when you land in a house and you're like, great, there's nothing in here for me to use. I'm gonna die now.
We have ammo boxes. We don't need ammo floor loot. I mean, grenades. There are a lot of grenades, so I can see them being floor loot. And like there's the regular grenades. There's the impulses. There's the shadow bombs. Kind of count as grenades. I don't know if there's any other ones that I'm maybe missing, but I mean, I guess they put them in the loot pool as well. Like pretty much, I mean, you can get anything, right? Technically on the floor. I mean, even a gold scar, you can get anything. Yeah. So, I mean, it's just if they could just take out ammo only, that would improve so much. Because I mean, really,
that would be a good first.
What are the odds you get no loot of any kind in the house? That's not going to happen. You know what I mean? You're going to get something. So if they take out the ammo only drop spawns, you're going to get a weapon per house, and that would help a lot of people, I think. But maybe if they do that, they're afraid there would be too many weapons on the map or too many potential.
I mean, who cares how many weapons there are?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I don't
like,
think
it's better. Like, who wants to play a battle royale where you don't have a weapon? Like, let's be honest. That first bit of the game is the worst part of the game. When you're like, yeah, I'm assuming it was very upset. And like, that's the type of game that'll make you stop playing. You'll be like, this game is stupid, and turn it off. That is exactly what they need to be fighting against as a game developer, right? So for me, that's a huge. Yeah, you're not.
Imagine if that was my first game ever, right? And I'm like, this game looks fun, and then I'm like walking around the house in search of, and then I leave the house, and then guy kills you from across the street, and I'm like, how did he get a gun? Where do you get guns at?
This game's done. Yeah.
It wouldn't have made sense, would it?
No,
because they don't know how RNG works. It's not it's a new player. They wouldn't.
Yeah. No, I agree. So I think that's something that Epic really needs to work on.
I didn't understand. I thought
that was a great
and I play all the time. I couldn't find a weapon, and I didn't understand it. So that tell you.
Yeah, it's not a good problem. It's really not a good problem. I think they need to fix that. That's definitely something that if I were a battle royale game developer, if one of these companies hired me as a consultant and was like, Dave, you are a genius. We need your advice, which they all should. I'm just kidding. But if one of them were to do that, that would be the first thing I address. Is like, guys, there's nothing more frustrating in a battle royale than going through a house, building an area, an enclosed area, and not finding a single firearm. That is, to me, the most infuriating aspect of battle royales. Fix that, and you will retain way more players for longer gaming sessions. Because I mean, that happens to me in some games. Like, you drop in, there's no gun, or there's like, and you die, and you do it again, and you die. And there's no gun again, and you're like, okay, well, you know what? I'm just done with this for today. This is clearly a day where I am not meant to play this game.
Isn't it weird that the games where you can't find a gun or find any weapon, the guy that kills you just so happens to have like a pump, you know, a legendary pump. And you're like, oh, cool, all right, got it.
Yeah, well, I feel like that's kind of how the RNG works. They're like, well, here's a legendary, so there's going to be nothing around, or here's like 4 guns in this house here, so this next house has to have no guns, and it's like, that's not how this works. Like, that's not how any of this works.
Nope.
But yeah, I think we did a pretty good job covering that topic. We kind of beat it to death a little bit, but honestly,
it deserved to be beaten.
Yeah. They need to figure that out, honestly. Okay. Time for everyone's favorite portion, clips of the week. As a reminder, guys, send us your clips. We want to feature your stuff on this show. We would love to have our viewers get the spotlight for a little bit. So when you can, if you ever pull off something nasty, you can tweet it at me. You can tweet it at other Throoper over here. You can post it in our Discord. We have a Discord. You can post it there. We'll drop the link in the channels and all that sort of stuff. Wherever you're watching, you can find the link. And if you post it there, we will feature you as long as it's like relatively good play. Like, if it's a terrible play, like, I'm sorry, we can't show that much favoritism. But as long as it's worthy,
yes, indeed,
we will watch it. So live on air, and other people will get to see it. And hey, you're an aspiring streamer, good place to start. Further ado, let's kick it off. Clip number 1 is from Sir 90.
Sir 90.
Sir 90.
Checking that loadout real quick. It's giving me anxiety. He's got his weapon separated by his shields and his glider. Is he nuts?
I know. How does he not change that setting?
I know. We gotta skip this clip already.
This guy loses for
we missed the clip.
Inventory management.
What the heck? Oh,
so
he saved himself from the projectile launcher.
Yes. So he snipes, sees the rocket go off. Unfortunately, this is squad, so he didn't get the actual kill. But you see there, he takes a bunch of damage. He was just kind of standing there eating the projectile.
Holds the shot, though.
Yep.
Holds
now,
steady.
That's a guy you want on your team.
See the timing, though, of putting the wall down?
Oh, yeah,
that saved his life.
Timing. Yeah, it did. It 100% did.
That was actually brilliant.
What I love about this, though, is the fact that even though he saw the guy come out with the rocket, he was not gonna like unzoom and build that wall early. He's like, nope, I'm taking the shot. I've got the shot, boys. I will take it. That is what you call a pressure player right there.
You gotta think about this. So the way that works, that proximity, is that it blows up when it's near you. Like, it wouldn't blow up if there was a wall separating you because it would bounce off the wall. That's how close the window was that he put that wall down. The thing registered, he was next to him, went to blow up, then he puts the wall down to shield himself from the explosion. So that was insane timing by him.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's probably a teeny bit of luck involved in that, but honestly, great play. Yeah. So That was clip number 1. Guys, we need your votes in the chat too. And we also need your votes on Twitter. If you don't follow @Tilted Talk Show on Twitter, I need the gif of the Game of Thrones shame. You know what I mean? I need that lady to just go, shame, shame. Clip number 2. The Paragon.
Oh my god. Oh, I didn't notice the gliders. I thought he was just like, oh, just jumping to his death to start things off.
No.
Wow, he's already almost dead.
Yeah.
Oh, and he pulls the gliders down, getting shot at. All they gotta do is clip him once.
And look what he's gonna do. This is why the combat shotgun got nerfed. Did you see how much damage that did? Did you see how much damage that did?
Oh my god. Did he just get over 200 damage?
Yes, he did.
He got 353.
Like, are you kidding me?
He got 300 damage? Wait.
Down a mountain. Down, this is what I was talking about earlier. Down a mountain.
Wait a minute. I don't... Maybe he only had 35 HP and it was... I don't know.
I don't know. It's still ridiculous.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that one hurt.
350?
Yeah, 350. Can you believe it?
Yeah.
Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Are you not entertained?
Say about that one?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know either. Okay. Clip number 3. Frankly, logic. This is pretty crazy. So he's going to start by just scoping things out a little bit. He's just kind of looking around. He hasn't picked. Now this is a limited time mode, but still the shots were so nice that I was like, you know what? It doesn't affect the fact that this guy hit some crazy snipes. And at the end of the day, we're here for highlights. Competitive highlights are always a bonus, but highlights in general are highlights. So the beginning of this clip is a little bit boring. He's just kind of scoping it out, trying not to maybe give himself away. Doesn't want people to shoot down this little thing. Also, rookie mistake, has not built this, so he's going to miss one here, which is okay. You miss occasionally, but next few shots.
Oh. Okay.
Headshot.
Not bad.
And that shot hit too.
Wait. What? Yo, that took so long to get there, dude.
Like, look at this.
Dude, that took so long to get there. That second shot.
Oh yeah.
Did the clips like freeze?
No.
That felt like it took forever.
No, I think he yeah, I don't know exactly how this worked. I really
So he
can't
shot
tell you.
there.
I wish we had a different angle. 2.
Like that should be hitting him like
slow-mo.
now.
Yeah, it should have already hit
Okay, right there. All right, yeah,
But
that seems reasonable. Damn. No, I know it was the slow-mo definitely added, but wow.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
Did he hit the glider? No, he
I
didn't.
don't think so. No,
No,
maybe
okay.
he did.
No, he would. No, because see how fast the glider's going by. I don't think he hit
The
him.
glider might have come down.
See how delayed it is.
Back around. Yeah, you're right.
Maybe though.
I don't know. I don't know who he killed.
I don't even think he knows who he killed.
I don't think.
But
he
it was cool though either way.
Yeah, it was a funny clip. Pretty good snipes. I was pretty impressed. I was like, you know what? That's pretty good aim. I'm impressed by you, sir. So good job. And clip number 4, pre-wit gaming, or just pre-wit.
I think it's
now. He titled this clip "A One-Man Army," and I have to say he's not wrong. So there's the first knock. He's going to shoot that player far away from him. He sees he's getting pushed right now, right? You see that player next to the tree. So that player's been distracted. He decides to turn on him, shoot him a bunch. There's the other player that he was originally fighting.
This AR is it's so accurate, dude.
I know. And he's not like letting this guy hide. He's like, no, I'm coming. Doesn't even scope in there. Just wrecks him.
And
grabs himself a shotgun. Oh yeah, he just won the loot lottery. Now he's going to take a quick mini break.
He should win the game.
And he's going to fast forward for us. Thank God. Nice guy, clip editor. And then he's going to find some more people. He's going to find another duo up here. He's the first guy. Look at those shots. He immediately gets pushed by the team.
Oh, he's got a mats.
Did you see that shot?
Oh, you did not just do that, dude. He timed that window edit so nicely. So he only puts one wall down. Gets that shot, and then he just times this so well.
Yep.
Oh,
he just had a feeling that guy was going to beat, and he... Prediction at its finest. Prediction.
Oh my God, that was so clean, bro. On the controller too, so clean.
Yep. God bless the controller player, right? Unfortunately, this guy's video resolution was subpar.
Yeah,
so we didn't have that. We didn't have that for you guys in 1080 or 4K or anything. But still pretty good. Pretty good clip. I was impressed.
That's true. So
So who wins?
I don't know. We got to get a vote. Oh, and that's who I think should win.
That's also who I would have voted for. Obviously, we abstain from voting unless we are needed, because we don't want to be biased.
No,
but you guys should all vote. So definitely make sure you're following that @Tilted Talk Show account. You see it right there on the screen right now. There's no excuses for not following. Like I said, I will send the lady from Game of Thrones with a bell to your house and have her ring shame in your window. That will be your alarm clock.
Oh,
and she'll follow you around the rest of the day. When you're trying to go to sleep, right when you're closing your eyes, like about to pass off, she'll just start doing it again.
Listen to this man.
You a little bit longer.
Listen to this man.
Petty AF out here. All right, guys.
I think we're giving it to Pruitt.
Yeah, we're giving it to Pruitt. So he is officially the clip of the week winner.
Big congrats.
Congratulations,
Doink.
sir. And
you're editing a window? Doink.
Yeah.
Bye. Oh, don't forget he has no HP left either.
Yeah, he had to hit that shot. And he's like, oh, look, mini shields. Oh, look, big shield. I've got health again.
That was so fun. That was so good.
Yeah, that was awesome. So congrats to him. And yeah, we've answered a bunch of questions over the course of this show, kind of just from chat as they came in. Normally, if it's not really relevant to the discussion, or if it comes on Twitter, we will save it for the end of the show. But if it's like if it touches on the subject we are discussing as you ask the question, we will try to get to it in the middle of the show. So that's kind of what happened this week. I haven't seen anything else come in since then that was, required an explanation. So I think that's going to be it for us this week, guys.
Yeah, we answered a ton of questions, covered a lot of stuff on the patch notes and everything, and now we just got one more week of qualifiers left.
Yeah, again, we apologize for the lack of guests. There were some technical difficulties, unfortunately, that prevented it from happening. But next week, we will have one guaranteed. We might not have other Trooper over here, though.
Yeah, I'm going to be away on a family trip. I'll be away in Florida, but I'll be back the week after, right back on schedule with you guys.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Enjoy Florida. Enjoy Disneyland. I will have guests, and I will do some Callan.
I will be tuning in, though.
Colin Coward-esque rants, because that's
I'll
what
be
you
in
got to
chat.
do when you're by yourself. I'm just going to try not to come off as dumb.
Just pull out it's just going to be huge. If you can't get a guest, pull out a canvas. Just start going Bob Ross and we're going to paint a pretty picture today.
You don't want me to do that? I can't paint.
Some happy little forts over here and some happy little forts over here. Yeah, it's going to paint like a Fortnite like background. Was that the only one that was coming to mind? All right. Sorry. Yeah. We are well past our time, clearly.
Yes. Okay, guys. Thank you so much. If you stuck around this entire time, you're the best. We love you. Appreciate it. And we will see you next week. Take care.